Hello everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight, a very special episode. That's right, it's a second iteration of Top 10. That means it's Top 10 Rye Whiskeys of the Year for 2023. My God, was this one challenging to do. Okay, the bourbon one, loved doing it. Wasn't easy, but wasn't too hard to get, to get my order done in the blinds. The rye one had to do it 3 times. I feel bad for me for having to do it 3 times, for having to drink all this delicious rye whiskey 3 times to figure out my order. The Ryes, 2023 was really the year of rye. I'm sorry, you got to believe it. This is primarily a bourbon channel, but I bought just as many ryes this year as I did bourbons. Big names are putting out really good ryes, and even some craft distillers are putting out high-aged, really good ryes this year. So, look out. 2024 is, I think, going to bring even more. Now, again, the rules are the same for the rye as they were for the bourbon, meaning I had to have acquired a bottle of this. Again, plenty of you, I'm very thankful, sent in samples that were delicious. Probably would have made it, but if I didn't get a bottle, couldn't find a bottle, it didn't make it in the list. Sorry, it's how it is. There are single barrel store picks in here because I generally think all store picks are better than shelfers, or like most of them, right? So you can probably find a store pick, and it might place kind of where mine did. Maybe not, but close enough for government work, as we always say on this channel. My lovely assistant Rita will be handing the bottles today. We have several honorable mentions. Rita, can I have the honorable mentions, please? Alright, so the first of my 4 honorable mentions, I know, I couldn't pick for the Ryes, is this Sagamore Spirit Albarino cask finish. Honestly, one of the best dang finishes that Sagamore has done. I did a review on this. It is 101 proof, compute 50.5% alcohol by volume, but it was a distillery exclusive, and they did like 1 barrel of it, right? So that's like 200 and some bottles. Unless you're at the distillery when it dropped, you weren't going to get it. For those that did, boy, is this good. It's got lemon, orange, cherry, with a beautiful rye. It's delicious. Next up on the honorable mentions list, Sagamore Spirit Maple Cask Finish. A store pick between Julio's Liquor, there's some debate on how you pronounce that, in Massachusetts, and Benny's in Chicago. It was 2 barrels. Okay, so 300 to maybe 400-ish bottles total. The first maple cask finish that Sagamore's ever done. 107.2 proof on this bad boy. And it was a blend of 5 to 6 year old MGP rye finished for 2 years in maple syrup barrels. So again, quite delicious. I did a review on this, but you weren't going to find it, so I couldn't really include it. Our third honorable mention, and you guessed it, another Sagamore Spirits rye. This one is a Vino de Naranja, or orange wine finished rye. This was actually Jason's Mash and Journey pick for his summer jam, which was at Sagamore Spirits. Dusty Dan did this with him, as well as 21090 and Scott from My Bourbon Journey. So this was even signed by Scott and Jason. Thank you guys for the great summer jam, although I doubt you're watching this. But anyway, this was the first Vino de Naranja they've done, and it is obviously, as you would guess, excellent. Orange notes, very thick, viscous, delicious. There's a few of these bottles left after the event, but beyond that, you didn't get them. Again, it was a pick. They didn't really release it. This was 112.6 proof. I believe it was like 6 year finish for like, a year and a half, 2 years again in the Vino de Naranja casks. This placed like top 5 originally, but then I pulled it out because, again, only 200 or so of you could have gotten it. But excellent work, Jason and Scott, on picking this one. Now that we gotten the wall of Sagamores out of the way, our last honorable mention goes to a new distillery for me. There it is, Corbin & Cash Merced Rye, 100% rye. The first 100% rye I've ever tasted at 70 doll hairs. Quite a value for a 7-year, 11-month pick of this. This is actually an R Bourbon pick, so plenty of you could have gotten it if you wanted. Look at the color. Look at the color. Narrowly missed my top 10. And it missed my top 10 for the next craftish rye that's going to come up on the list, which is number 10. Beat it out. But this is very good. If you haven't, it's more like datey, raisiny, plummy, vanilla type than a traditional rye, if you will. So it's different to me than most of the other ryes on this list. It's very good. For the money, it's an excellent value for how old the rye is. They do sell these as a 1917 non-store pick version, so be on the lookout for that if you want to try a non-store pick version, but excellent bottle. New distillery for me. I'm glad I pulled the trigger on it, and you should as well. Now, we're into the numbered ones. Rita, number 10, please. Another first and craft distillery for me that narrowly edged out the Corbin and Cash, Driftless Glen. Barrel strength rye. This is also an R bourbon pick, hailing from Baraboo, Wisconsin. This is actually a Wisconsin distillate, and this one is also like a 7-year barrel strength rye. Again, look at the dark color, and they use a unique mash bill that has it's a high malt content in it as well. It's like 70% rye and some malt in it, but what a fantastic fruit bomb of a rye. If you want a fruity rye, this is for you. And at 124 proof, it packs the punch. Very viscous in the mouth. I'm definitely on the lookout for more Driftless Glen rye picks for sure, and you should as well. So if you haven't heard of Driftless Glen, this is your wake-up call. Again, the price on this was like $70. Another great value. Pick one up. What is this? Craft distilleries not charging a ton and delivering fantastic stuff. A lot of craft distillers are putting out crap tastes like hay and dirt. Not these two. Number 9, Rita, please. I'll take a small break while she's reaching. 9 is another craft distillery, but now turned into a big boy, kinda. Wilderness Trail Cast Strength Rye. Cast Strength Ryes are available in store picks. This was from Drug City in Maryland. What made this special is the age. 6 year and 7 month. Most of them are in a 4 year, 5 year maybe if you were lucky. But a 6 year, 7 month is one of the oldest I've heard of. And the ages are going up, right? Like they released a 10-year wheated bourbon at the very tail end of 2023. So their distillate stocks have risen to the 10-year range. This one here is all pancakes, maple syrup, and rye spice. And boy, is it delicious. Thick and viscous. This was like $70 here, something in that range. A great price. Don't sleep on this. Now, they were bought by Campari, which, Campari is screwing up wild turkey in the bourbon world, charging outrageous arm and a leg for crap. But hopefully Campari does not screw up Wilderness Trail. Time will tell. Number 8. You knew it was making it. Peerless Double Oak Rye. I love the Peerless Double Oak Bourbon and Rye. Obviously, spoiler, go watch my top 10 bourbons of the year video. The Peerless Double Oak Bourbon made that list as well. Double Oak Rye, this was the first year. 2023 was the first year they distributed their Double Oak Rye to a wider audience. Before it was distillery only, but now you can get it in the batched version, if you will. I'm hoping some single barrel store picks start trickling out in 2024 because, the picks are always older, and I bet it'd be even more delicious. These are around $100 hairs, more at the distillery, but I see them for as low as $80 hairs a bottle. So be on the lookout for these. These are fantastic. I mean, just a wall of oak, cinnamon, barrel char, woodiness, if you will, and rye spice. I think the Double Oak Peerless Rye beats the shelf Peerless Double Oak Bourbon. So if you're between shelfers, get the rye. Number 7, also a store pick. Kind of a theme here with the rye so far, right? It's Hugh's Belle of Bedford, which is in PA, which is an old PA label, but it is a 95.5 MGP rye. This is also a store pick from Drug City. This one, though, 10 years old for $100 hairs, $10 a year. 10-year-old cast strength MGP rye. I'll wait till the gasps subside. What are you doing passing this up? This one comes in at 110.8 compute 55.4%. A delicious, dank, musty oak of a pour. Everything you'd expect from a well-aged MGP. Let's have a quick sip. Very deep, dark, and rich. Oak, caramels, rye spice, it's all there. Definitely don't sleep on these. And there are ones out there that are 10 years old. I've seen younger ones. Go for the 10. Why not? Go for the 10. They're all the same price. Number 6, please, Rita. Number 6 was a late entry into my thing. In fact, I already kind of had laid these out, and then I got number 6 late in 2023, and I kind of had to redo this a little bit. Hailing from one of my favorite distilleries, Jack Daniel's Twice Barreled Rye, 2023 special release. This is the LE for this year from Jack Daniel's. And it's a 100 proof twice barreled rye that's 8.5 years old. If we go with a neck tag, look at the color on a 100 proof. Look at that color. You don't see anything that dark that's watered down, right? And this delivered in spades of marshmallow, toasted oak, rye spice. I mean, phenomenal. Now, I just did a review on this recently for like $75 here. You should 100% seek this out. It's a great pour. Yeah, wow. I can't say enough good things about it. JD always crushes their LE releases for the year. Every year they've crushed it. I mean, for years they did the Heritage barrels, and they did, you know, the barrel proof rye in 2020, Coy Hill. Now the twice barreled single malt from 2022 wasn't my jam, but it was a really good single malt if you're into that. And then here's 2023's twice barreled rye. What are they going to do in 2024? I'm so curious. They're just killing it. Killing it. And at a value, I must say. Now we've reached the top 5. And 5 and 6 were a very narrow fight. Also hailing from the same distillery, Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye. This was a store pick from Bourbon Street Wine and Spirits in Phillipsburg, New Jersey. Now listen, in the video of the twice barreled rye, I said I liked it better than this at the time. And they flopped a couple of times. I said it was kind of maybe date dependent. This store pick just shone through. A shelf bottle of this would not place this high. It would definitely be below the twice barreled rye that we just did. But this is number 5 here. Top 5 of the year. Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye. Now the store picks are older, a little bit older than the shelfers, but get one of these. $68.99. $69 hairs in PA. I think MSRP is actually like $65 hairs, but you know, PA likes to upcharge, whatever. If you're struggling to find one of these, just wait. These are going to be a shelf bottle. Do not overpay for these. Although they're worth more than the MSRP, they're delicious. I think Shelfer v. Shelfer, the barrel proof rye is better than their barrel proof bourbon, if you will. The store pick really elevates. It's just like Bananas Foster, creamy, char, caramels. There's even a little bit of leather in this one. I mean, this one's phenomenal, this store pick. They did a great job. Age on these is about 6.5 to like 7.25 for the store pick. Shelfers are a little bit under that, but this was phenomenal. I mean, this one's like 133.2 proof, but they go up to almost hazmat and down into the high 120s from what I've seen. But these are great. I mean, definitely pick one of these up if you can. This is probably the most available rye on the list. And it's one of the cheapest prices, to be honest. This is one of the cheapest prices. 4, Rita, if you please. That's the wrong one. That's 3.
Oh, is that what's been happening? Is that why?
What do you mean that's what's been happening?
You don't even know.
No, I knew the order. Mm-hmm. Number 4 was our champion from last year, but she fell behind a little bit. Doesn't mean it was worse. I think it was better than last year's. It's just the competition for Ryes has grown so much. Sagamore Spirits Port Finish Rye. Oh, this exotic beauty could be found at the distillery and a few other select stores in Maryland, so it was kind of limited release. Last year's was a 6-year MGP rye finished for, I think, 2 years or 2.5 years in port. This year is a 6-year MGP rye finished for 3 years in port. So it's a 9-year total. Look at this, like red dark color. Okay, I did a review on this. It's a monster. If you're hunting Midwinter Night's Dram, wake the hell up and find one of these instead. This is way better. This Midwinter Night's Dram is like playing T-ball. This is playing MLB. Okay, Major League here. That's the difference. Midwinter Night's Dram is garbage compared to this, honestly. This is the best port finish rye in existence, to be honest. Nobody does the finishing better than Sagamore. This is all raspberries, dark chocolate, rye spice, and just fruits. I mean, the port comes through. It's phenomenal. And you might say, well, Bourbon only plays fourth. That's how good the Ryes are this year. The Ryes this year are better than they were in 2022. All right, now we're in to the top three. But number three, Rita, please. Number three here came very late and caused me to redo the whole lineup 2 more times. And it was a showstopper. Coming at the last minute, it is Old Overholt 10-year cash strength from Jim Beam. So not only did, spoiler alert, Jim Beam win our 2023 top 10 bourbons of the year, they got 3rd place in the rye. And they're not really known for amazing ryes. But Old Overholt is a cash strength 10-year rye from Jim Beam, coming in at 121 proof, compute, 60.5% alcohol by volume. The review of this is going to drop just barely before these videos do, but this thing is phenomenal. It's all sweet oak, tons of caramel, a little bit of that beam nuttiness. It makes for a fantastic rye. 100 doll hairs, again 10 years old, so $10 a year. Do not pass this up. And it's in an old granddad bottle, for God's sake, which makes it more special, I guess. Came out of left field and delivered a home run. It's our number 3 rye of the year. Rita, number 2, please.
Right in front of you.
Wow, my assistant's giving up. Right at the tail end. Number 2 was always destined to probably be it was for sure going to be top 5. I thought a top 3 for sure. And it did come in at number 2. It is Sagamore Spirits 8-year-old rye. Oh, baby. How are you? We saw a lot of Sagamores early in the honorable mention section because of how limited they were. And this one was a nationwide release. So more available than the port. This was unstoppable. 8-year MGP rye at 111.4 proof. It's a blend of 95.5 and 51% MGP rye, so it's kind of all there, if you will. What a delicious bottle. As you can see, I had to stop myself from finishing it before this review. But now this review's done, she's going to be gone quick. Just has everything. Tons of roots, tons of caramel, a little bit of oak in the back end, vanilla. So well-rounded, that's the key here. It delivered all the full flavor spectrum, blended so perfectly together from start to finish. A phenomenal hit from Sagamore. Arguably, it's the best thing Sagamore puts out, to be honest, was this 8-year. This is batch 2, to be fair. They did one a while ago. This is batch 2A from 2023. This is better than the first batch. Let that be known. This came out early 2023, and rumor has it they're doing a 9-year for 2024. So stay tuned for that, because I will be snatching one of them. That was our number 2. And without further ado, our number 1 rye of the year. And I felt bad about putting it as number 1 because, it was limited. But it was no way it wasn't making number 1. There it is. 13th Colony Cask Strength rye. Not the old, $35, 90-some proof of rye. No. This is a cask strength store pick 13 Colony rye, coming in at 13 years old and 149.3 proof. That's right, a hazmat 13 Colony, 13 years old. Could it get any better than this? Now, the reason I hesitated about putting this as the ultimate number 1 because it's limited. This was only a 92 bottle yield out of this particular barrel that this came from. Thank you, Tyler Boggs, for the assist on this, and thank you, Tarak from Elixir Wine and Spirits in Spring Hill, Tennessee. So, if you're near Spring Hill, Tennessee, stop into Elixir Wine and Spirits. The man picks excellent store picks and has a wide selection. So, thank you for allowing me to get this bottle from you guys. You did a fantastic job picking it. From what I hear, it was the only store pick in the entire state of Tennessee from 13 Colony. So, 13 Colony had the double oak bourbon that everyone fondles themselves over. This is better. This is better. Now, the reason I ultimately ended up putting this in was because there are more store picks of this available. Like the Bourbon Junkies have done one. A couple other, like another YouTuber has done a rye pick. Sealbox released like a 10-year cash strength rye or like an 11-year cash strength rye, which I reviewed thanks to a sample from Ken Wicker and Bob Bonfante. Thank you again, gentlemen, for that. But these are out of this world good. I mean, look at the color. What kind of rye is that dang dark? And this was an easy first. Nothing, and I mean nothing, came close to this. Other ones could have swapped, maybe two spots on a different day because of how close they were. But this sucker, no way was it inching from first place. But Lord heaven help me, that's so good. It drinks in the high 120s, even though it's nearly 150. It's so rich, viscous. It's so deep, dark, and delicious. It reaches below the ground to pull how deep it is on the scale of deep, dark, and delicious. It's maple, it's leather, it's oak, it's rye spice, it's vanilla. It's so much flavor is packed in here. Just cherry even. I will probably weep when this is gone. Now, this is actually my whiskey of the year. So even all my top 10 bourbons, they could intermix with the ryes, for an ultimate, top 20 list, if you will. But nothing beat this that I bought this year. This is the best bottle of whiskey that I got in 2023, hands down. And it wasn't close. As good as the Frankfurt was, which, again, spoiler, won our bourbon of the year, this is better. I mean, nothing. I'm going to definitely seek these out. You should keep your eyes peeled for the cash strengths. These aren't cheap. This was about $186 here, something like that, in that price range. But well worth every penny, for sure. So I know the hype on 13 Colony Double Oak, it's justified. But the store picks of their bourbon and their cash strength ryes are also up there and could be the Double Oak. Just keep that in mind. So if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. We're almost to 2,000. And go ahead and comment, what were your top ryes of the year? And did you think this was like the year of the rye? I think this is the year of the rye. I mean, so much stuff coming out. But let me know what you think below in the comments. Happy New Year. And I hope you get every bottle you want in 2024. Have a great evening.